Hi Scorpio, happy July. I hope you're doing well. Okay guys, these readings are going to be a little bit longer and a little bit more in depth. I've got the general portion. I've got an oracle card for what we go out of July with. I've got financials, health, and relationships in here, okay? Because I'm not going to be able to do the weeklies and the monthlies consistently, so I wanted to give you a little bit more. Plus, we've got a lot going on for this month. So what I want to say here is I can see this is going to go a few different ways. Your reading may take a little bit longer, but I'm going to hit this from a few different angles here. We come in with the Two of Swords as the overall energy, okay? Now, what we go out with is the Oracle card of the Fan. I feel that with these eclipses, this is going to take a little bit, right? This is not going to happen, all of this, within 1 month. So just give yourself a little bit of a break with that, okay? But the outbound with this, the butterfly card is, it's actually a moth that comes into a butterfly, right? It's change, new beginnings, and transformation. And I really feel like it's more of a transmutation than a transformation, right? I feel that it's really literally like the cocoon, the moth, and then the butterfly. This is a major reading here for you, and I'm going to hit it in such an angle. I'm going to say with the Two of Swords coming in, don't prejudge something. Don't write something off. Don't close yourself off. Be open to things that are outside of what you can see at the moment. Okay? I think that we come in with the Temperance card, the Six of Cups, the King of Cups, and the Ace of Coins. Okay, that Ace of Coins is a phenomenal card to have in any reading. It absolutely offsets also somewhat less promising cards that are sitting around it. Okay, so I do feel many different things coming through here. All right, but we not only have that card once, but we have it twice. Okay, now in your health spectrum, we have the Ten of Cups in reverse. I left it that way. Okay, on purpose. We've got the High Priestess. We've got the Ace of Coins right there. Okay, and we've got the Devil card sitting next to it. We've got in the relationship spectrum, and now you had one card fall out of here. That Four of Swords just came flying out, so I had to take it. We come in with the Death card, the Five of Cups, the Seven of Cups, the Hanged Man card, and the Four of Swords fell out. Okay, now in your financials, you've got the Queen of Cups, the Six of Cups, which we have in the main focal part of our reading, in reverse. It came in here. Okay, I also left that where it is. Now, you've got the money card here. That's a surprise money card. That's coming from somewhere that you're not, it's in your blind spot. You don't see where this is coming from. Now, what I feel for you too, for some of you, this is not just financial. This is value. Okay, now you've also got next to it the Knight of Wands. Okay, I want to say this. For some of you, I think that you're going through some kind of, if you've given up on children, right, and it's somehow impacting you, I think really there could be some kind of karmic block around that. Like something that you need to work through first before that becomes available to you. If you've been hitting walls with that, okay, but I feel that you do clear that because you've got that Six of Cups in reverse in the bottom, and I feel that you find out somehow maybe there's an underlying medical issue as to why that is, a hormonal issue. Maybe it's some kind of, birth control scenario, maybe something from the past, maybe a contraceptive in some way may have done some harm. That the good news though is, again, that sits in your, also in your health spectrum there, the Ace of Coins, that kind of counteracts things, right? But you need to pay attention to these things. Go see a doctor. Don't let that sit, because the Ten of Coins in reverse is kind of a hard card to read in a reading because it speaks of the future. It speaks of inheritance. It speaks of kind of like your golden years, like, you know what I mean? But it's in reverse. So you want to get that back in an upright position. You know what I'm saying? So you want to take care of. It's kind of saying it's imperative that you take care of these things right now. I feel they may stem around something with some kind of female reproductive, you know, scenario like that. The devil card too is kind of just saying you need to get this balanced out. You don't want to wait on this. It's not something that you can just sit on. You need to take care of it. Okay. The temperance card also is saying it's trying to, the temperance card is, you know, maybe going in a different direction, trying something new. It's the difference though between, giving up and continuing on, wanting it now, you know, having to work through certain things. And it sits right next to that Six of Cups. And I really have a strong feeling with that combination there, that for some of you, what this is there's something that, you know, you may need to deal with. Maybe there's something from this life or a past life surrounding children or surrounding family or surrounding something of that. Maybe you don't think that you know, are I think it would be, it's a personal kind of scenario there. So for those of you that apply, I don't think that I'm saying anything to you that you hadn't already thought about. You know, I do think though that you're a complex soul. I think that it's coming to terms with that when being okay with that and being a deep thinker and realizing that you, you know, I think too, a lot of some things can be around guilt complexes, right? They need to be released. Sometimes we're carrying stuff around that we don't really know what it is. And sometimes I feel in here for this reading, sometimes it's that paradox too between what do you mean it's not all about me? You know what I mean? Sometimes we need to get some really hard lessons about that before other doors open for us. You may be in the midst of something like that, right? That you're maybe not even aware of. Now, the King of Cups in here, and I'm pointing that out because it shows up again, the Queen of Cups shows up in your financial spectrum. So just stick with me here. This can be, again, balancing out of am I worthy of love? Do I have love to give? Do I want to give love? Am I, you know, there's just a lot of things. But again, it sits next to that, the Ace of Coins. It's what are you growing here? What are you trying to do here? What are you trying to accomplish here? It looks like you've got a few different opportunities in a few different places. And I think the universe is trying to point out to you, you know, the wealth that you do have, the love that you do have, the value that you do have. You know what I mean? I think, though, that you need to maybe start making better choices for yourself, valuing yourself better, you know. I think that your relationship spectrum has a lot of conflict surround it. And I think it's consistent conflict because you're unsettled on the inside. I think that in here too, for some of you, there is a thirst that cannot be quenched in regard to really needing affection. And I don't think that that's anything that is a negative, but you need to look at how are you trying to fulfill that? You know what I mean? I think there's a great paradox here too between individuality and relationships. You know what I mean? It could be to someone that likes to travel a lot, but also wants a family. You know what I mean? There's got to be either you need to strike a balance within yourself about that, or you need to let one of the two options go here. I think that, you know, you may be pairing up with the wrong people too. I think there's a little bit of, well, not a little bit. I think there is some self-loathing in here, and I think that that's showing up in the form of maybe depression in some regard. There's a definite need, I say again, for grounding in your life. That King of Cups in there, this is someone that he can be, or she can be, you've got the dynamic duo in here, because I think that it shows up in the value, right, of yourself. And either you don't feel you're worthy, or you're aligning yourself with people that are taking advantage of you. But the King of Cups, underneath all of that, even if you're in the greatest relationship, you've still got the void in there where you feel either unloved or you feel unlovable, you know? I do feel that health things improve in here for you. But again, I really think that these things really need to start with self-care and, you know, not, I think there's karma in here for sure. I think, again, when we get a 6 in a reading and you've got the same card twice, you've got the 6 of Cups here in your general part, and in your financials, you've got the 6 of Cups in reverse. This, for some of you, too, can be a divorce. It can be an inheritance. It can be some kind of something like that where something in your family unit gets settled, and that's what that could be, too. But for some of you, that I really feel is like some kind of karmic thing being, it's like it sets you free. You metamorphose into this fulfilled, love-filled, finally you feel happier than you ever thought you could feel. You know now what joy is, right? And sometimes that comes through the birth of a child, but you've got to birth yourself first. You know what I mean? You've got to know that you're worthy first of this. And the 6 of Cups can be, you know what, I either need to realize that life is not always about me, and the things that I want because I just want to feel loved, or I just want to feel cared for, I just want to be. But sometimes when we encounter something like that, we become obsessed with it, right? We try to possess it instead of, it suffocates, and it falls away, and it's a repeated disappointment, right? So I think that all of the financial abundance that you could have in this world, this journey of yours, I don't feel that that would quench that thirst of needing to feel loved, right? So if in fact maybe you're thinking, if I have a child, the child will have to love me, that could be too one of the reasons where this is not coming together on that, is that maybe you just need to do a little bit more work in getting that kind of mindset changed, right? Love yourself first, because what happens is you end up, and I'm not putting my own 2 cents in here, it's in the cards, because you've got one of the 6 of Cups is in reverse and the other one is not. So it's just saying you've got to get them both going in the right direction there. You know what I mean? You don't want to focus on the past either. You want to give it its due and try to figure out where this came from, right? And sometimes, again, it's not from here. It's past life spiritual trauma. It's past life, you know, you could have lost a child, or you could have died in childbirth in your past life or something. It could have something to do with bigger than what you're looking at. But it all goes back to honestly loving yourself first. And you know, because if you don't, you're putting that kind of responsibility on a child. So hypothetically saying, now you have a child, right? And that still doesn't fill that void. Now you've got this child, and you've created this child, and how do you give a child love when you don't love yourself? It kind of repeats a broken pattern, right? So I hope you know there's no disrespect in me saying this. I'm just pointing these things out. And take the month of July. I would strongly suggest not acting on anything in July, except I would have the health thing looked at. I'm not a doctor by any means. I'm not a financial advisor by any means. I'm just telling you that the health cards with that 10 of Cups, 10 of Coins in reverse next to the High Priestess, I would not let things sit like that. I would just make sure that no matter what else you take away from here, just have your health examined. And then the other stuff, the karmic stuff, will work itself out. If it is, in fact, something like that, it's not going to show up at a doctor's office anyway. It's going to need to be cleared by you. But that's what I think it is. And I think that once you find peace on the inside, you'll find peace on the outside. And I think, though, that if you don't get these things settled within yourself first, you're gonna be disappointed or worse with relationships that go awry. Because in the relationship spectrum, you come in with the Death card, right, which is saying transformation. And we see that in the butterfly, right? We see transformation. We know we need to change something in here, right? But then you've got the Five of Cups. Maybe it's how you're looking at it, right? Maybe you put expectations on things, or, you know, external things that you don't see the blessing that you are, or you don't see the blessings around you, or you don't get the appreciation that you need. Maybe you get yourself into relationships where people just bully you, or they take advantage of you, or they, you know, they don't love you the way that is in accordance with what you're looking for. And if you're not loving yourself, you're pulling in people that I assure aren't loving you the way that you need here. And then next to it, you've got the Seven of Cups, right? The Seven of Cups can be a proposal. It can be a child. It can. So that's why I'm saying, if you don't think that this is possible, don't give up on that. It sits in here. And we're coming into 2 eclipses. Keep in mind, the impossible happens during eclipses, meaning it's outside of your control. So maybe once you release control over something, you'll be pleasantly surprised, right? I'm trying to hit this, guys, from all different scenarios. All of these scenarios, and maybe none of them, will apply to you. Right? But you've got the Hanged Man here next to the Four of Swords that fell out. That's just saying both of those cards together really, really just speak up. I need to take a step back here. I may not be in my best health, mentally, physically, emotionally, but maybe I'm sacrificing myself for things that just aren't getting me where I want. With the Hanged Man card especially, it's like I'm just not able to get where I'm trying to go. I need to look at something separately, or you're throwing yourself under the bus in relationships, getting involved with people that aren't worthy of you, okay? So I can tell you that in this reading, there's a feeling of not feeling worthiness. Like you don't feel like you're worthy of it. There's just there's just a feeling that someone really needs a tight hug. Like they just really need, not even a word, like not even a word that someone speaks. They just need to be hugged really, really tight. And I don't feel that that comes from here. I think that this is something that you're carting around, and you just need to get this straight. Give me a moment. The Empress card, like I say, or I'm sorry, the Temperance card. It's a card that is saying you've got to stay in the middle lane. It's making something new. It's trying different things, maybe dating different kinds of people. But the Six of Cups, I've got to keep pulling on that in here, because I really feel that that's the ticket to your freedom in here, is that Six of Cups, and it's letting karmic ties from the past go. If you're feeling guilty about something that you've done in your past, or that was done to you in your past, find a place for it. I'm not saying get rid of it, but you've got to give it its due, really look at it for what it is, and then find a place for it and release it, right? We can't beat ourselves up over things from the past. They're learning. We learn as we go. We do better when we know better, right? So we would never get anywhere if we didn't crash and burn every once in a while. So for some of you too, I know, if you're feeling guilty about things and you're thinking, this isn't why I'm, not able to get pregnant now, I assure you it doesn't work like that. So I know right where someone is going with that, because I got that right in my heart. It doesn't work like that. If you're meant to have a child, you will have a child. So maybe there's different means to that for you too. Maybe explore different avenues for that. But for some of you, you've got to settle down relationships and within yourself first, the relationship with yourself first, and maybe look at the choices that you're making. I don't feel that there's intentional intent in here. I think that you may just be you know, fishing in the wrong pond for the kind of relationship that you're looking for, or I think there's just a lot of turmoil in here. There's a lot of hurt in here. And that's what I think is going on. For those of you in the financials that none of this applies to, you've got windfalls coming in here. That Knight of Wands next to that, the mystery finance cards say, don't hear my reading, please. I am not a financial advisor. Do not take this reading and go, you know, buy a Maserati and then wait for the money to come. It's coming. I don't know from where though it's coming. That's the mystery here. But sitting next to that Knight of Wands, that's also a card that says money is coming in. So you've got two sitting right next to each other. The Queen of Wands, if nothing else, is a receptive. It's a receptive energy. So it's coming into you. So stay open to that. The Six of Cups in reverse though is where you want to work on something. Maybe the value within value. What do you value? You know? But money comes from somewhere for you here. Okay, the relationship aspects, I think you need to really take a look at what are the sacrifices in here and how are you approaching this? Are you looking at pessimism? Are you looking at things in your life as always pessimistic when in fact you've got some great, you know, blessings around you? You just may not see them. The Ace of Coins in here 2 times is telling me you've already got universal interference in here telling you, look at the blessings that you've got here. It's sitting here in your health spectrum, which I assure you is running rogue through here, and it's in your mind. So you've got to take that Two of Swords and just, you know, maybe not judge something so harshly. Maybe put your guard down just a little bit and be open to this change that sits right next to you with that butterfly. I mean, honestly, it really doesn't get much better than that. Be open to also your clairvoyance, your intuition, your dreams. You know, you could quite clearly be getting messages through here too. That's what I think is going on here. I think it's a great reading. For some of you, you've got some really long life things that you're working through in here. Some really deep things. Scorpio is an extremely deep sign here, and I'm hitting this from a positive. This reading, I'm hitting from a positive. All the other stuff, I can't deal with that nonsense. But this is a great reading. You'll get what you're looking for. If you're looking for also, for some of you, I feel you're extremely professionally, financially secure, but I think you're barren on the inside. So you may want to retreat that just a little bit. That's for some of you. Okay. For others of you, it's you're wanting the whole kit and caboodle, and you can have it. Maybe if you travel a lot, right, and you're having problems, my travel for my job or whatever interferes with the home life that I've got, maybe figure out a way to take your partner with you sometimes, or restructure something, right? I feel in here you're doing what you need to do for you, but I think it might be interfering. It's like I can't do both. You know, one is going to take a hit always. There's creative ways to do things. I would give yourself a little bit more credit and think outside the box if that's the case here. Okay, so there you go. I hope that I helped you in some way. If you need a private reading, please reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to do anything for you. Okay? Thank you so much.